Ahoy! We have some bad but also good news. Leaderboards are coming soon. We have an announcement here from New World, from the team, and let's just talk about it first and look at it a little bit, look at what's happening here. Greetings adventurers, carve your name into the history of Eternum when leaderboards launch on February 7th. This new feature will recognize players, companies and factions across more than 50 categories. Whether you prefer PvP, PvE or just want to show off your fishing skills, there's something for every type of competitive player. Finish at the top of select weekly or quarterly leaderboard categories for exclusive skins and titles. Which title will you claim? First you can see the skin here. This is actually, as far as I can tell, based on the helm. Not a full skin, it's actually just a chest piece. We can only see the back here. Doesn't look that great, to be honest. There's another screenshot here as well, which we can have a look at. I don't know. It's just this cape with a weird chest piece with weird spikes, and that's kind of similar for all of the different designs. And then along with that, everyone is wearing different other pieces of armor, so we can assume that's actually just a chest piece. I don't know, like the cape is nice, but the chest piece itself looks kind of weird, so yeah, not sure what's up with that. But let's talk about the scoreboard itself. Rewards. Outperform other players for more than 20 exclusive skins and titles. Game designer Rachel Barnum shared some insight into the reward section. Example titles and skins. Title and skin rewards vary based on each category and placement. Check out the in-game leaderboards for the exact requirements. The following examples use the mutated expedition score category as a reference. Top 5 finisher, expedition name, Victor. So for example, the Dynasty Victor, which means this is literally only reserved to one team each week. Top 25 finisher, medalist. So in this case, that would be then Dynasty medalist. And then we have the top 5 finisher for, I think the first one would be score and the second one is speed. I'm not sure which one is which here, it's not labeled, but I think that's what it is. And that would be Conqueror of, so you could get Conqueror of Dynasty Shipyard if you're in the top 5. Or if you get into the top 25, you can get Hero of Dynasty Shipyard. The picture that I already showed you here is a Corrupted Breaches skin on the left, an Outpost Rush skin on the right, and a gold chest for any top tier finishes in the center. Categories. The primary goal of leaderboards is to celebrate the player's accomplishments beyond single game modes or points in time, Rachel said. We went through all of the activities that New World has to offer and chose the ones that would best suit leaderboards, such as Outpost Rush and War. We did have to balance against categories that may encourage bad or unhealthy behavior. For example, we originally had gathering boards, but these would have turned into excessive grind boards. There are many ideas like gathering that are generally better suited to personal stats for fun rather than competing with others for the top spot. The leaderboard screen is accessible through the navigation bar in the menu under modes. Look for the leaderboards tab to see which of the following categories offer rewards. Categories rotate either weekly, monthly or quarterly and are for individual players and worlds unless otherwise noted. Global categories will be implemented in a future update. And then we have a long list of all the things that you can do in order to get on the leaderboard somehow, though not all of them provide rewards. So these are the versus environment ones here. We have the mutated expeditions, multiple forms, we have the boss trials, the corrupted breaches and invasions. In open world PvP we have a few things like kills and influence earns and control point capture. Then we have some faction stuff, then we have OPR stuff. Then we have 3v3 arenas, and then we have a category for the faction war stuff as well. Here we have the territory control related things and faction, how many days they've governed something, other company related stuff, and then we also of course have wars. For war we have both player statistics as well as company and faction statistics. And then we also have legendaries crafted for all trade skills. Look forward to new rewards, categories and more in the future. The faction war section will also get a lot of love throughout this year. Thank you for your support, we'll see you on the leaderboards. Well, they didn't mention at all which ones of these are actually the ones that provide rewards, which to me very strongly indicates that it's still going to be score, because they knew that if they openly said it's still all about score, they would get backlash, and if they point out something else, something new, then they probably would have had positive feedback, or at least some form of feedback, so they probably would have mentioned it. I do find this massively ironic in the context of this particular sentence. We had to balance against categories that may encourage bad or unhealthy behavior. I have said it so many times now, if leaderboards depend on score primarily, it's gonna lead to tons and tons of unhealthy behavior. I think people running around and gathering for hours would have probably been the least of our problems in that context, though I understand that what they're actually meaning to say here is people would have just been botting. I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm strongly under the impression that some higher up here simply wants score to be pushed through, or they just want leaderboards to just be out of the way. They just want it done, they just want to put it out in this state and then, you know, worry about it later and want to focus on something else that they're actually working on, because they know that scoreboards were kind of more of a last year's thing anyways that wasn't on this year's roadmap, and they're just kind of over it because they couldn't really figure out how to solve it better anyways. I said it as well that they should just not provide rewards for most of the things on this instead, and just preserve the rewards for something that is actually measurable in a good way, like expedition speedruns, for example. It doesn't seem like that's what they're planning to do. Based on the fact that there's still an OPR skin, and they haven't explained how you can get the OPR skin, I think it's still score for PvP related things. I think it's very bad. I think it's something that they shouldn't have done, but at the same time, it's not necessarily bad news as a whole, because it means the next patch is closer. I thought they were going to delay leaderboards even more, but this means that they are getting closer to releasing the next patch on the PTR already, if they're able to release this on the 7th. So that is one good thing to come out of this. As for the rest, oh well, I guess I will just care about the PvE part of leaderboards and hope that not too many people will entirely focus on stat padding in OPR and Wars now. I mean, I'm not very hopeful, but it is what it is. Maybe they'll have to learn their lesson after a bunch of people find new ways to exploit it. Maybe there will also be a lot more outrage if they release it in the state, and then maybe they'll have to change it afterwards. We'll have to see. Of course, I will update you if anything changes, so consider subscribing and clicking the bell if you want to get notified. Also, if you're interested in me breaking down the freedom perk in detail and how much freedom you really need in certain situations. Also, I'm going to post a Smite update video later today, so if you're interested in that, feel free to check that out as well. Thanks to my patrons for supporting this video, and thank you for watching. SLOTH, out.